Hey coach, how do I avoid getting sick this year? Is it possible to strengthen our immune system as we enter into the cold and flu season? In this video, we'll talk about some evidence-informed and whole person strategies to strengthen immune function using nutrition, lifestyle, maybe even a breathing technique or two to your advantage. Hi, my name's David. I'm a health coach at PartnerMD in Richmond, Virginia. Thanks for joining us today. I wanted to give you a couple of evidence-informed strategies to improve immune health as we go into the colder months of fall and winter. Our immune systems are our defense against all kinds of invaders, viruses, bacteria, and none of us likes to get sick. So the natural question is, how do I boost my immune system so I avoid getting sick? Can you do it? The answer is yes, in the sense of boosting your immune system up to normal limits or optimal levels. And so we'll talk about a few ways to do that, starting with, number one, digestive and autoimmune health. So having a good intact intestinal barrier, a good population of bacteria that are beneficial to us and not too many of the pathogenic kind is really important, especially in the fall and the winter. This could include weekly intake of fermented foods like yogurt, kimchi, miso, sauerkraut, things like that, fermented vegetables, fermented pickles. These types of food help boost beneficial bacteria in our guts and help kind of crowd out the bad bacteria, and in that way help strengthen our immune system. Well, anything that helps soothe the system, whether that's drinks like aloe juice or bone broth, these types of foods and drinks can be helpful for calming an inflamed immune system. And even supplements like L-glutamine, which is an amino acid that acts as a fuel for our small intestine cells so that they can do their job better. Well, all these types of inputs can help strengthen our digestive lining and avoid any kind of permeability issues where things are getting into our bloodstream through the digestive tract. So we want to have a good barrier, good intact barrier there. Also relaxing during meals. You can kind of take 10-15 minutes and just take some nice easy breaths and allow yourself to rest and digest. That sort of parasympathetic nervous system. Allow that to take over and allow you to actually digest your food. That can really help too. Another strategy is getting the right nutrients in for our immune health. And we hear about things like the vitamin C a lot. And it's indeed important for immune health. It helps our white blood cells fight off microbes and other things directly. Good sources of vitamin C are things like green peppers, citrus fruits, green beans, berries, things like that. Another nutrient that's really important is zinc. And zinc does a lot in our body, something like 300 plus reactions it helps with. It's a cofactor for a lot of reactions in our body. It also really helps with immune health and immune activity, things like that. Good sources of zinc are mostly in a lot of beef and meat products. Oysters are a great source of zinc, but also some plant sources like pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, things like that have a little bit of zinc in them too. Another important immune nutrient is vitamin D, right? Especially as it gets colder out and we're not out in the sun as much anymore. Maybe a lot of us can't tolerate dairy products, which are fortified with vitamin D. Our sources of vitamin D get fewer and fewer as we get into the colder months. If you can, getting out in the sun for 15-20 minutes, maybe half an hour of direct sun exposure between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. It'll help stimulate some vitamin D production. A good vitamin D3 supplement can be really helpful. I always take it with a meal with fat because it's fat soluble. Vitamin A is helpful as an antioxidant. So it helps reduce oxidation, or as I think of it, kind of like rusting in your body. So it helps with maintaining barriers like your skin, digestive lining, all these things that are really helpful, act as barriers to keep out pathogens in our body and also directly fight off oxidation. A final vitamin that's important, I really put together, like folate and B12, 2B vitamins are really helpful for the proper development of our white blood cells. So things like foliage and for folate, like leafy greens, spinach, mustard greens, kale. And for B12, mostly meat, honestly, beef, chicken, stuff like that. So this can be really helpful for our white blood cell health too. Finally, anything that lowers inflammation or reduces inflammation can help with immune health, since inflammation really just is an immune response. So that means eating foods high in omega-3 fats that are sort of like Motrin for your body, like fish, salmon, tuna, things like that. And also chia seeds, flaxseed, walnuts have some omega-3s in them too, and then reducing our inflammation-raising foods like a lot of our grains and sugars and things like that. Another area to focus on besides nutrients and gut health is general lifestyle, right? A generally healthy lifestyle can only help our immune health. If it's good for your health, it's probably good for your immune system, right? Things like regularly washing your hands, right? Avoiding proximity to people who are sick. Talking to your doctor about recommended vaccinations. These types of things are very important. Of course, exercising regularly but not excessively has been shown to improve immune function. One final kind of small tip, but something I'm interested in as a massage therapist, we talk about breathing a lot. Breathing in particular ways can really be helpful for stress. Of course, we kind of know about diaphragmatic breathing. I would encourage you to look into that. But also, one of the reasons we get sick, some evidence shows that it is how we're breathing, because we're meant to breathe through our nose most of the time. That's where we have nasal hairs, things like that, to trap dust and molecules and microbes. We have an immune system up there as well in our nose. We have parasympathetic nerves up there, so breathing through your nose actually calms you down a bit more. And so what happens sometimes is when it gets cold, our nose dries out, or we have issues with breathing through our nose, and then we start breathing through our mouth. And that kind of removes that defense, that initial defense mechanism that we have to trap microbes and things as they come in. And finally, supplements. As a certified nutrition specialist, I always think about supplements as well as foods. You can get most things from food, but sometimes it can help to slightly increase, or if you can't get a certain food in your diet, you might need a supplement. Ask your coach or doctor if you even need to do that, because you often can get the stuff from diet. But one additional supplement that's difficult to isolate on its own and that could help with prevention is called NAC, or N-acetylcysteine. Not only does it help boost sort of glutathione in the body, which glutathione is sort of a master antioxidant. NAC seems to help with prevention, things like COVID transmission. A little bit. It's not a foolproof plan, but it can help a little bit with prevention of transmission and with lung-related conditions. Anything with mucus in the lungs or buildup like that. It's not a medication. It's an amino acid. But I would talk to your doctor if you're not sure if that's something you should include in your routine. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to our PartnerMD YouTube page, and feel free to ask comments or questions below. Have a healthy day.
Thank you for watching. Sharing these insights is one of the ways we support your journey to better health. If you're a PartnerMD member and have questions, your health coach is always here for you. Just reach out to your local office to get connected. If you're not a member but want to learn more, we'd love to connect with you at PartnerMD.com.